This episode of the Luxury Agent Podcast is brought to you by Jansen.ai, founded by luxury agent and AI consultant Rick Jansen. Jansen.ai equips business owners with AI-powered tools, virtual assistants trained to work smarter, and practical upskilling, all designed to simplify operations, reduce costs, and accelerate growth. But the real goal? To give you your time back, so you can build a business that supports your life, not one that runs it. Stop missing your kids' events. Actually relax on vacation. Pour your energy into what matters most. You, your peace of mind, and your most important relationships. Offload the stress. Ditch the grind. Start working smarter. Visit Jansen.ai to book your free consultation and explore smarter ways to scale.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. My name's Rick Jansen. I'm thrilled to have on founder, CEO of realestatecontent.ai, Kyle Raineri. Kyle, welcome.
Thank you so much, Rick. Rick, it's always a good time whenever we get the chance to sit down and talk, man. I feel like we always have some good topics on everything AI to discuss.
Absolutely. So for people who are not familiar with you, can you humble brag for 30 or 60 seconds and let them know why they should listen?
Yeah. So quick PSA, if you Google my name, if you Google Kyle Raineri, you're probably going to see a lot about some guy driving race cars. That is me. In my previous life, I was a professional race car driver. I was a professional race car driver in the IMSA series. If you guys have seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari, that's kind of the style of racing that I was doing. I got into the world of marketing before racing. So I owned a marketing company that scaled all of my marketing sponsorships through racing. That was my company. And through all of that, we did the majority of our return on investment for our partners through social media. So I became the guy for social media scaling as far as lead procurement, lead activation, and lead retention. That was the name of the game on social media when I was running the show. So, what I did is I took all of that expertise that I learned in my motorsports marketing business and everything that we did there, and we brought it to an industry that desperately needed it. I have a lot of family in the real estate industry, grew up in that world. And this was right when ChatGPT was coming out, when AI was first kind of coming onto the scene. And we said, how can we bring this emerging, incredible technology into an industry that really needs it most? And me and my business partner brought this to real estate. And we said, how can we have AI solve a huge problem in real estate? And that problem, Rick, was social media. How do agents who are busy and maybe not the most technologically savvy, maybe you don't have the time, maybe you just want to up your game. And we built a product called realestatecontent.ai from scratch. We built an AI-powered social media calendar from scratch. It is real estate specific AI. It's not ChatGPT. It's not Grok. It's not Perplexity. This is AI built for real estate. So we are in about the second year of running that company. It's with agents all across the US and Canada. People are absolutely loving it. So I am your guy if you want to know about AI and social media.
Awesome. Well, now I want to pay attention. I didn't know all that about you. Great job at the intro. Before this started, before we went live on podcast, we were talking a little bit about LinkedIn versus Facebook and whatnot. Let's dive into that a little bit. What did you have to share with our audience? Because when we're talking luxury, we're talking LinkedIn, right?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of things that I want to share with you guys today. And whenever I do any kind of, let me get this on here. There we go. Whenever I do any kind of presentation, I'm doing like a keynote speech or speaking at an event of some kind, I always want to reframe why social media is so important. With all the things, all the things that we could do with AI. AI can send your emails, AI can write text, it can send voice messages. We've seen some amazing things that you're able to do with AI, Rick. All of the amazing things that it can do. Why the heck I'm asking it to do social media? And specifically, if you're in luxury, what kind of social media do I need to pay attention to? So I want to reframe really quickly before I talk about what I'm seeing in the LinkedIn world and why that is a perfect position for luxury agents to be in right now. I want to talk about why social media in itself is so important. So I pulled some statistics for you guys. And if you guys can see my screen, this is
when I was bouncing around our different head sizes, I was trying to add that to the stage. So we've got you going.
Perfect. So why social media? All the things that AI can do. So I'm a statistics guy. Instead of me standing up here and saying, hey, you need to be on social media, of course I'm going to say that. I own a social media company. So I pulled the numbers because numbers don't lie. So these are the most recent marketing statistics from the United States as of March 2025. So these are last month's statistics. If the point that I like to make, if I was going to ask you as a luxury agent, what do you think the difference is between baby boomers and Gen Z people on social media today? You'd probably say, I think most Gen Z people are on social media and most baby boomers are not. Makes sense. You know, Gen Z grew up with social media. They had cell phones when they were in elementary school, right? There's actually less than a 30% difference between baby boomers and Gen Z people on social media in 2025. 36.9 million baby boomers are on social media every single day. And here's the kicker. People aren't just using social media for entertainment anymore. They're not just using it for pictures of their kids and, you know, connections with lost friends and entertainment and pictures and things like that. People are using it for news. They're using it to connect, but more importantly, they're using it to make business decisions. Guys, when I Google someone's name, if you're a luxury agent in my area and I saw you on some kind of advertising and I Googled your name, guess what pops up first? Facebook page. Guess what's underneath that? Your Instagram. You know how much you care about your website? Everybody's like, oh, I want my website to look this good and I'm willing to spend $500 a month to have a great website. Well, guess what? Your website is buried down there on the first page, sometimes even the second page of Google. More often than not, somebody is going to click on your Facebook or your Instagram page if they Google you. More often than not, that person is likely to be a millennial, Gen X, or baby boomer because there are 36.9 million of those baby boomers that qualify. A lot of those are in our luxury market that are using social media every single day. And if they're not just using it to connect with their grandkids, to connect with their children, they're using it to make business decisions. It is a human competency now. Social media has been in our lives for so long, over 20 years, that we've been using social media every day, that it's been in our pockets. Social media has been around so long that it is a core part of our business making decisions. It is not just for entertainment, which tells us that it is more important than ever that us as agents have an effective social media strategy. Now, when it comes to luxury, what is the best place to aim that social media strategy? Now, I'm a big proponent of the best social media strategy is the strategy that you can do every single week. The best social media strategy is something that you can come in here and do every single week for the rest of your career and not have to take 2 weeks off because you're going on vacation and it's too hard to stay up with, right? That is the best social media strategy. When it comes to luxury, there is one clear standout for where you should be on social media, and that is head and shoulders above LinkedIn. It is LinkedIn. You should be on LinkedIn. Why? Simply put, people on LinkedIn make more money. The most recent statistics show that the average household earnings per user on LinkedIn is 30% higher than Facebook. Facebook is the second runner-up. That's a massive gap.
That's significant.
It's huge, 30% difference. People on LinkedIn on average make 30% more money. If I need to convince you to get on LinkedIn even more, I like to make this analogy. I've got a $5 million listing. Somebody calls me and they say, hey, saw you on Instagram. That was a really funny reel that you just made. I was looking at your website and this house is really cool. I'd love to tour. I'd love to talk to you about it. Okay, we're talking on the phone. By the way, I haven't been employed in the last 5 years. That's a very difficult conversation, isn't it, Rick? Right? We're wasting everybody's time here. Guys, LinkedIn is the social media platform for people with jobs. That's a pretty good reason, huh? It is the social media platform for people who are employed. The kind of people that post on LinkedIn every single day, the reason why I see agents that are so resistant to social media is because you're not an executive. You're not a top, manager at some big company, because those are the kind of people that are using LinkedIn the way that you use Facebook. So I'm forgiven to hear agents say, hey, I'm not posting on LinkedIn because I don't post on LinkedIn. I don't know how it works. But you got to put yourself in the shoes of your customers. If you're working with doctors, lawyers, executives, entrepreneurs, guys, they use LinkedIn the way you use Instagram, the way you use TikTok. You got to learn how to do it.
But now, if I'm to interject here for just 1 second, we're not posting hamburgers and baby pictures and our latest dance moves on LinkedIn, right?
No. This is a great question. So I like to call out low value content. I call it low value content all the time. It takes me 2 seconds, Rick. I'm sure you're the same way. If I land on an agent's social media account and there's nothing that tells me that you were forced into doing social media and that you don't like it and you don't know what you're doing more than Happy National Coffee Cup Day. And here's a quote from Gandhi. And here's a picture of my dog that I took on my iPhone with half my thumb in it. Guys, it is so easy. It is so easy to tell that somebody has told you that you need to post on social media and you're doing it because you have to. And your customers can see that too. You might as well not post at all. I'd rather you not post at all on social media than you post Happy National Cardboard Box Day. You know, I see if you ever want to know what obscure holiday it is, follow an agent on social media. They'll always find a way to post it. Guys, to Rick's point, if you're going to have an effective social media strategy on LinkedIn or on any social media platform, you have to be posting high value content. High value content is content that addresses your customers' pain points. So when someone lands on your LinkedIn, what do they need to see? They need to see that you know what you're talking about. So I'm talking about market reports, post your market data, post your listings on LinkedIn. More importantly, create content that addresses your customers' pain points, that addresses their problems, whether it's an infographic. So LinkedIn does really well with carousels. We know carousels from Instagram where you kind of swipe like that. LinkedIn is awesome with carousels. Video, talking head video that is addressing, hey, here are my top tips for investors in my local area. That would do numbers on LinkedIn because guess what? Guess who's on LinkedIn? Doctors, lawyers, business owners, entrepreneurs. Guess who's your investor clients? Guess who's your luxury clients? That's the kind of stuff that they want to see, right? So you got to think about that when you're posting on social media is what do you want people to walk away with? What impression do you want them to have of you? And if we're a luxury agent, we're buying for people's attention, not only their attention, but we need to position ourselves as credible. These are very well-educated people, very powerful people. They need to trust us. You're never going to get somebody to trust you by posting a picture of you and your family on vacation with half your thumb in it like that, right? So high value content, post it on LinkedIn. What you got on that, Rick?
So where do they find this high value content? What defines like high value? We could be talking about, Gagano coffee makers, like what are the latest high tech gadgets for the kitchen, or what are the latest LEED certified additions to your home, like ways to make it more eco-friendly. A lot of luxury people right now are wanting to talk about lifestyle and how to make their lifestyle better. Like, how do we get that high value content?
It's a good question. Now, there's the traditional way. I always say there's always 3 avenues to social media. The first way is doing it yourself. So if you want to do it yourself, you can research all of those topics. A good idea is to create an in-depth customer profile, identify what their pain points are and what their interests are, and then actually write down manually all of the things that they would be interested in and then create content from that. That's what you would do if you were hired by a company to create content. That'd pay you about $60,000 a year to do that. I don't think any of us are interested or have the time to do something like that. It's about 40 hours a week of work. The other option number 3, I'll skip option number 2. Option number 3 is we're going to hire somebody to do it. Okay. Now, in order to do social media content at the level that is required to be successful in 2025, when people are already so adept to social media, it's going to cost you about $5,000 a month. If somebody's coming in lower than that, it's going to cost you a couple of months until you figure out that they're not worth it. Okay. $5,000 a month is where value genuinely starts with social media agencies. Ask me how I know. Option number 2, what's your middle ground? I can't afford to hire a good agency. I don't want to spend 20 hours a week to do it myself. That's where AI exists. AI is the perfect middle ground to do an effective social media strategy for you. AI can learn your customers. It can think of your topics. It can create the posts. Realestatecontent.ai, the social media platform that we built, will actually do all of that. So our platform organizes everything into a calendar, and it will create all of your pictures, your videos. It pulls market data, and it does your listings, and it's going to target that for specifically Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. So AI really, if you know how to use it at a very, very high level, ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity, it can be a great tool to do exactly what you just said for social media. So how do we create high value content? Obviously, we took all of the things that the research that we did, the expertise that we had, we pre-packaged it with realestatecontent.ai. But absolutely, I think ChatGPT and AI is a great place to find that high value content.
And if people are wondering, like, well, there's a middle ground. It's not $5,000 a month. It's not me putting in 40 hours a week. Is it successful? I mean, do you have some like cases you can brag on where people are actually getting results?
Oh yeah. If
I'm going to talk to you a softball there, but I want people to actually hear like this does work.
I want to show you guys. So forgive me, Rick, for coming up on time here, but I've got some case studies. I'm the numbers guy.
Yeah.
I'm the numbers guy. So I got this. Okay. Let me share my screen again. Let's go to this tab. Here we go.
And you have to look because you didn't know I was going to do this. So that's all.
Oh, yeah. No, I already got it. So just off rip, absolutely. Like there's thousands of people that are using AI, specifically realestatecontent.ai, to increase their results on social media. I mentioned that I'm a numbers guy. So, I've got the stats to back that up. So this is my 1 month case study. I pulled this from this is a lady named Melissa. She's a real estate agent down in Atlanta. The reason I like to show this is because Melissa's not an influencer. Melissa has 200 followers on Instagram and Facebook combined. This is a very small account. You do not have to be an influencer to start doing social media well. In fact, you should start doing social media the way that I'm telling you to do it, even if you're starting your social media accounts today. It's a logical fallacy to think that you have to have a following before you start doing social media correctly. You will never get a following unless you start doing it correctly in the first place. So here's what happened. Melissa went from posting using Canva 3 times a week. So she was doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. She was creating her posts on Canva, doing it manually. I think a lot of us are doing that. And then her next month, we're like, hey, why don't you come in here, Melissa? Just give AI a shot. What do you think if you could take all that time that you're doing, writing this on Canva and editing everything? What if you just had AI do all this for you? And what if it could do it even better? So Melissa took the leap there and actually switched her entire strategy over to AI. And this is the results that we saw were incredible. So reach, a lot of you guys might not be familiar with these metrics. Reach is the amount of people that are seeing your posts every single time. Melissa has 275 followers. She's reaching on average 575 people per post. That means people more than just her followers are seeing her post. That's true lead gen right there. That's your ability to reach people even past the people that already know you are in your sphere. Her views, everybody wants more views, right? Yep. Her views are up 786%. 786% using completely AI generated video that does not require you to be on camera. It doesn't require you to be an influencer. It doesn't require you to sing and dance. Her views are up 786%. But the most important metric, the one that I like to point out here the most, is content interactions. So your content interactions, when you measure these on Instagram and Facebook, these are your comments, your direct messages, your direct interactions with somebody. Somebody's actually talking to you. Melissa's content interactions over the course of 1 month were 3 times higher than all of the other Instagram and Facebook accounts that also have a similar number of followers. She's averaging 70 content interactions per week, where most profiles are averaging 23. Every one of those content interactions is a lead. If somebody messages me or somebody comments on my profile, that is a conversation. If I can start a conversation with somebody, conversations create conversions. That person is a lead, right? It is up to you to lose it at that point. By the way, all of these content interactions are coming on your business pages. These are your business pages. These aren't people messaging you and saying, oh my gosh, I love your dog, he's so cute. These are people messaging you because you posted about your local market and you were talking about your business and the properties that you list and how you can do that for somebody else. Those are meaningful, high intent content interactions that are completely organically generated. And this was all done using AI, and it took about 30 minutes to do it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Those are some really, really impressive numbers. No joke. And I know you guys have expanded into working with teams and doing downflow. You've expanded into done for you services for people who are like, I don't even have 30 minutes to do this. Kyle, since we're running up on our time, how do people get a hold of you? How do they explore your system and kind of get a demo?
Yeah, if you want to contact me directly, my email is kyle@realestatecontent, content, period, AI. Our website, same thing, real estate content, content, period, AI. We are the AI generated social media calendar. I would love to talk to anybody who's interested. Just let me know that you came from the Luxury Agent podcast, and maybe I'll give you a special deal.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you. And until next time, we'll appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Rick. Anytime is a great time for me to get to talk to everybody, and I'm looking forward to more stuff that we get to do in the future.
This episode of the Luxury Agent podcast is brought to you by Jansen.ai, founded by luxury agent and AI consultant Rick Jansen. Jansen.ai equips business owners with AI-powered tools, virtual assistants trained to work smarter, and practical upskilling, all designed to simplify operations, reduce costs, and accelerate growth. But the real goal, to give you your time back, so you can build a business that supports your life, not one that runs it. Stop missing your kids' events. Actually relax on vacation. Pour your energy into what matters most. You, your peace of mind, and your most important relationships. Offload the stress. Ditch the grind. Start working smarter. Visit Jansen.ai to book your free consultation and explore smarter ways to scale.